What's up, everybody? It's Sid and Millie back with another Manchester United game day review. We're going to get into the Manchester United versus West Ham game in the Premier League today. Little midweek game, so a bit of a switch up for us on the game day. But yeah, so it was a 1-1 tie. I'm going to let Millie really take the reins with this one.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, these during work games are not ideal, but yeah, I think overall United got a point. That's really the key thing here. I'll get into a little bit more in a second, but overall, things we can be excited about. We secured a point on the road. It was a hard fought game. United fought until the very end, scored in Fergie time, 96-minute phenomenal finish from Šeško.
So crazy. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Crazy finish. So shout out to Šeško once again. I just saw a stat that he has scored in his last 4 games that he's played in out of 5.
Wow.
Which is just unbelievable.
Good for him. That really is so amazing.
Yeah, so absolute super sub, absolute clutch, and truly just showing what it means to contribute to the team in a meaningful way. And I think he's once again thrown his hat into the ring for being a starter. I genuinely, and so I'll get into a little bit about that right now, because essentially a game like today where we know West Ham, a team that is going to sit in a very, very, very low defensive block against United, they're going to put all their men back against us and sit everybody behind the ball and try and counterattack. I personally think against teams like this that play like this, playing someone like Šeško would be immense for United. And the reason I think that is because there were moments in the game where we were looking for someone in the box, where we had the ball wide and we needed somebody to serve the ball to in the middle, and it just wasn't really an option. Against a team that's in a low defensive block, there isn't really the space for our more, dribble-based players to, have success with what they're doing, because all of the spaces are very tight on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we definitely saw that with even one of Ahmad's chances.
Yeah.
Where we were like, shoot. So he was kind of looking for someone that he could pass to
exactly
to take that shot.
Right.
And so we were kind of missing that presence.
Yeah, a little bit of that decisiveness in front of goal, a little bit of that cohesion. But yeah, I think exactly what you said, there just wasn't space to operate. So, someone like Cunha, even Brian, they had trouble picking up the ball in areas. And when they did, it was really where can we go in these very tight spaces? So in a game like today, in a game when we're playing against a team that is going to sit that far back defensively, I think it's really important that we have a player like Šeško on the field who can really change the dynamic of how we play. Because having someone like Šeško on is still going to allow us to play our quick passing underneath, but it's just going to give us a different option in front of goal. And I think that's really what United needed today, because up until later in the game, we didn't have many opportunities on goal. We didn't create a lot of opportunities throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I just think that despite maintaining a lot of possession, the football was good. We moved the ball really well. So it was really just decisiveness. That was really all United was missing in this game, was just decisiveness in front of goal. But I think Šeško once again showed how important subs can be, and Xerxes as well. Once he came on, he had a chance that he was so close.
I know, I missed that, but I do remember they showed him and he looked really disappointed.
Yeah, he was so close. And then also, the would have been assist from Kobbie Mainoo was spectacular. Casemiro was maybe an inch offsides.
Oh my God.
They called him offsides literally by the front of his kneecap. And yeah, basically it was a worldy ball from Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro with a brilliant finish. So really disappointed that one didn't count, because that would have been unbelievable.
Wow, yeah. I definitely did not see the build up and the assist or the shot on that, but I saw the offsides and that was pretty disappointing, to say the least. For us to see that, I can't even imagine how they felt seeing that, but I know after Casemiro scored that goal, he literally was like, "Don't celebrate, don't celebrate."
Yeah,
Like would
he
not
knew.
celebrate
Yeah, he knew.
because. But how did he know he was this far offside?
Yeah, well, I guess he probably just figured it would go against him, regardless of how close it was, and he was right. He was 100% right. And then obviously Wan-Bissaka saved Luke Shaw's would have been goal off the line, so that would have been another one. So really, on
It
a
could
different
have been
day,
a very high scoring game for United.
yeah, really. And Lamens had like one decent save. So yeah, on a different day, United really could have walked away with it. So yeah, I think overall, the way we played, the way United fought to the end, the cohesiveness in the team, the build up in the way we attacked, all of those things were like perfect. They were fine. I think it was really just that decisiveness in front of goal. And a little bit of like taking responsibility, you know, because in the moment that you mentioned, like with Ahmad, like we need to shoot, right? Like we need to take a little bit more of those chances, maybe in and around the 18. Like not all of United's goals need to be like, you know, crosses and then a nice finish.
Right.
Back
Well,
into the
we
net.
know Ahmad can shoot from far away. We
Bingo.
know he can shoot.
And not just Ahmad, we know Cunha can shoot. We
Well,
know Bruno
right.
can shoot. Like
Yeah.
everybody needs,
100%.
yeah. Like Kobe
Yeah.
can shoot. Casemiro can shoot. It's like, you know, when we get into that 25, 20-yard range right outside the 18, and we know their back four is sat back, how can we draw them out? The way we can draw that back four out is by trying a couple of those long range shots, because then the back four and those defensive midfielders are going to step up to try and close down the long shot, which is then going to open up those spaces that we can play into. So it's a little bit of a trick, right? We don't, you know, even if Casemiro skies it to the stadium, it still puts in their mind that he might shoot. And
Yeah.
they will be worried about it. And so I hope in the next game we see a little bit more of that, a little bit more of like mixture in our attacking flow. Yes, let's go wide sometimes and look for a cross. Yes, let's look for the cutback finish. But can we also throw a shot in there? Can we also, you know, do a little bit of that to really keep the defense on their toes? Because I think at times today it was a little bit predictable, which is why West Ham was able to defend us and contain us for so long in the match.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like West Ham was putting a lot of pressure on United, or did it feel like a pretty, like, I don't know what the opposite of that would be, but
I mean, I think the game, it went back and forth like a good bit. I think there were moments where West Ham had like decent possession, decent control over the game, but I don't think necessarily in those moments United was threatened per se.
right.
But then on the flip side of that, there were a lot of moments, majority of moments in the game, where Manchester United was the far superior team. Sorry. Yeah, and they were moving the ball really well, possessing really well, and really trapping West Ham back and locking them back in their own half, and forcing them to literally just be like clearing the ball.
Okay.
So in those moments, you know, you could really see that like dominance from United, and the goal was always coming. You kind of knew probably from like the 60th minute that United was going to score. You just didn't know how it was going to
Or
come.
when.
Yeah, exactly.
But it did happen.
It did.
Right there at the very end.
And so yeah, so I don't have a ton of like complaints, a ton of, you know, whatever. I think maybe Carrick a little bit late with the subs. Maybe it could have happened a little bit earlier, as we realized the dynamic of the game didn't change that much going into the second half. And as the second half was playing out, you know, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, nothing was really changing for us. So I think around that point is probably when we need to start making those changes to try and impact the game earlier, because then instead of going for a tie, we're probably going for the win, right? Because we would have scored that goal earlier, and then we can be pushing for our next goal to get the 3 points. So he made ambitious subs, which I love. We subbed on Zerk, we subbed on Šeško, we made ambitious subs. So I think the next part is just, can we make our ambitious subs slightly earlier so that when we reap the reward of those ambitious subs, we can go on and win the match as well. That would just be my only note to Carrick. And then also in a game like today, when we know the team is going to sit their asses back, let's just throw Šeško on to start the game. Let's go ahead and make their dynamic uncomfortable from the get-go. And if not to start the game, at least by halftime, we have to recognize like we need a new dynamic in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think overall, points secured on the road. The unbeaten streak continues, and we move on. It's our first midweek game for a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, due to the mayhem of last season, we're not playing midweek, so I think that also kind of threw the squad off a little bit. So yeah, back to Monday, and we'll focus on the game on Monday, and let's see what happens.
See what happens. Yeah. So I think that was really.
Yeah, that was all.
That was all. So if you made it this far,
those were our thoughts on Manchester United's match today against West Ham in the Premier League, the 1-1 draw. Still a good result for United. We still are up. We're still following the Reds, and Michael Carrick will lead us the way. So
if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
peace.
Bye.